Egder is that a Egder?
Yeah. Guys. I get it.
Three people yelling at him. Sorry,
I
Egder.
hate you. I hate you.
I know. I'm very aware of this fact.
You don't even know lore questions that I put to you. How could you put me
True.
onto a B when it was
True.
clearly B? Point is, you might have seen Vision Esports on stream. That was a dogfight and a half. So they've only had what is it, like 10 minutes or so to recover from that, from their tank player emoting in the final fight of possibly the final map. Quick Esports versus Team Vision. No time to explain. Let's get into the action.
Yeah, heading straight on into it. Two very stacked rosters, but I think Team Vision have some very notable names to point out initially. Taejong and Simple, of course. Definitely the star players, both Korean imports. We've known the kind of historic presence that has had in the scene, but they're looking to continue that kind of reign of terror. Right now, though, they're hovering a little more different composition, though whether that will be come into fruition is a different state. I believe the bans is quicker sticking with their tradition of banning Bull here, and I believe that Moira was banned by Team Vision. They actually protected that Kiriko pick that both teams are pulling out.
Yeah, I mean, the bans aren't going to affect the meta comps and the comps that both teams are going to be playing. Genji, Soj, Hazard, Kiri, Lucio. It's all going to be pretty standard for now. Bit of a difference in the ideas of these teams. Quick get positioning of White Room in exchange for giving Slow Dive control of this high ground on the Sojourn. That's distance that they'll want to cross eventually. You can see there, was getting poked out, trying to put themselves on the point. Of course, plays very carefully, has ironed out a couple of the feeding issues that we may have had from the other day, and so is going to return to safety. I'm hopeful's very low. That's an early Suzu force out. Esports in a strong position right now. Taejong somehow able to escape with their life there. Team Vision are pushing their limits right now, but pushing the point is the thing that matters, and Quick going to start pushing that percentage up.
Yeah, right now, Quick had a monopoly of the health bars that entire fight, but Team Vision are finally feeling that rejuvenated enough to get back into the fray, but Dip looking to cut that new life short, as will Willis, taking the first blow out onto Taehong. A big star down for Team Vision. Can anyone else step up to the plate, up to the pedestal? No. Willis is continuing to be on a tear at the moment in the first fight. The first 25% of the point progress will go the way of Quick, Egder.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal play. I mean, yeah, Vision did a very good job recovering. And, walled off his Taejong, but very ingenious there. Still a pretty young player, but got the mind of a veteran, able to escape unharmed back to the rest of the team. Kitsune rushes from both these teams, and Vision were able to push through that initial choke without much resistance. They're going to go very aggressively. Mirrored ultimates. That's going to be Willis getting trapped up. Sound barrier from Natsuki to respond. AOI does not quite have their own yet. Is eventually going to charge it up just in time as Dip pulls the blade, and Dip somehow able to return to the rest of their team. All the ults end up coming out, and it ends up being pretty neutral for both these teams. They seem very evenly matched in this. Now Willis going to try and lock them up with the use of that own downpour, but Immo didn't necessarily respect Snowdrop's overclock there. You went in aggressively to get the kill onto Willis, and it worked out, but at what cost? Because Slow Dive is dead. Snowdrop in the fight, hides in a corner, and you know what? It's good enough to get you to live for just a little bit longer. Vision Esports going to have to back this one up, but they still have some presence past this choke, some presence on the point.
Yeah, it's all going to be on Taehong's blade to shake them loose. It's all being forced to deflect the Suzu as well to keep him nice and healthy, but no kills to come through. Yes, they'll buy us a lot of space, but Dip is still holding on to the point for the time being. And Yoham and Simple, they're both screaming towards another Kitsune rush here. Team Vision but Taehong gives his life for it. And now with a man advantage, now make that 2 as well as further extenuates this lead. Looking to clean up these last couple of kills, and someone has to touch the point with Vision. I think they will. It might have been Simple throwing themselves and they continue rush onto the point. That's all it's going to be. A last hurrah with nothing else to follow up, as Natsuki will take the final blow of first point here on Lijiang Towers.
And Quick Esports may have won that point in relatively dominant fashion, but it seems like both of these teams are really firing on all cylinders right now, doing a great job of things. There is an idea here if Simple want to go over to the Juno, but I think that's just for an initial speed ring out of spawn. Ultimately, you don't want the Juno in this composition. You want to be part of the dive. And Juno's great if you want to play, a little more brawly if you want to enable your tanks. But if you want to be in the action yourself, then Juno simply doesn't have the staying power for that. Kiriko does, right? That being said, this should in theory give Vision a bit of a positional advantage for them. Symbol's just going to TP back to the rest of the team. See if that's something they can leverage. And ultimately, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. They both end up meeting in the middle.
Yeah, both teams at the bridge at the moment, but Snowdrop already making sure that Taehong is sent back to the gallows. And right now, that's the opening that you fear for Team Vision. You fought through such a long, arduous battle to get here, but you're harrowed, you're haggard down by the time, and it's not looking good at the start, as again, Snowdrop will keep things going, the momentum in Quick's favor.
And it's a good point that you brought up there. Exhaustion can factor into this. Vision just had to come off of a brutal 5-mapper dip. Nice slash, gets onto 3 members of Team Vision, and that damage is going to be done permanently with Imo falling down on the point. Snowdrop finally going to be meeting their maker by the way of Slowdive's rail shot, but 3v4 situation means Quick Esports are still very happy to keep control at this point.
Yeah, and actually with both Kiriko clans being forced out there, maybe a trade come through, but no. Simple will have a bit more time to live and hopefully initiate this next fight with the Kitsune Rush slide out there. Gonna spell disaster for Slowdive. I'm not sure what the plan was there, but I mean, Willis not the one to miss out on that opportunity. Looking like a second team fight. Dip still making it his show tonight. Yes, Taehong is much more of a hyped up prospect coming in all the way from Korea, but Dip is making his name the one we're all saying, but Slowdive is also the one to take it on the kill feed.
Yeah, so someone had to put an end to Dip's shenanigans anyway. You look at the ult charge difference between these Genji players; it is night and day difference. And I mean, Willis does go in, uses the downpour. Aoi is caught out, and Natsuki tries to follow up, but you're dealing with Slowdive and these rail shots going to be taken down in the process. But you forced a chaotic forward fight for Quick Esports, and a chaotic result is what you've got. Imo is dead, and Willis back in the fight.
Yeah, Natsuki was just there in time to catch onto that hazard ult pick from AoE, but just give us life for it. It's all going to be coming down to these beats and these blades, especially though with the OC from both these soldiers being the X-Factor. Slowdive going to go first, get the initial pick. Dip though looking to equalize things again, and he will, finding his one, but so low, has to run to the warmth of this Mega Pack. And in the meantime, Willis has fallen, as has Snowdrop, and yes, the beat came through, but it was just not enough in the face of Team Vision. They're not going to give this up. They're not going to go quietly into the dying of the night. And Taehong will finally put an end to Dip, but it's been 93% for Quick on this journey so far.
Yeah, the idea was strong from Dip to deal with the overclock by virtue of the blade, but the sound barrier came out from Aoi, and all of that HP was stripped away from Dip. And yeah, you got the kill onto Slowdive, but you end up giving your own life for it. You don't end up shutting down much of that aggression coming out from Vision. Now, it's the trade the other way around. It's the overclock for the blade. Which DPS ult can get more purchase in this next fight?
Yeah, but Taehong has to have a lot more. Has found a lot more than just the one that Dip found last time, especially with Slowdive being first to fall, and that means the entire team had to run away. Taehong put in the blade, but everyone has fled the scene, and Taehong's blade will just whittle away only a last 2 strikes onto Willis, and now there's a later rush from Yoham.
Where was Taeyong when that blade was pulled? Kitsune Rush means that Willis has been low this entire fight, but never quite dead. And you need to kill that. You need to kill that man. You need to kill that freak of nature before he ends up wrecking your entire backline. Quick Esports, clean 2-0. And I think something that we were talking about is the thing about the next matchup is going to be D Impero or Ex Oblivione, looking more on the D Impero side of things. I mean, Quick and Vision, pound for pound, you think the winner of this game, they should probably be the ones qualifying for OWCS, right?
Yeah, these are, I think, Vision has really been held up in quite high regards looking at the pure caliber of these players, of these shots available in the Vision roster. But right now, yeah, Quick are having a very dominant lead. This is what you like to see, you know, after that pretty disappointing 0-3 against EXO initially. You know, Quick are on a warpath at the moment to have that rematch, to take the grudge back at EXO and throw it back at full force, because, you know, they were heralded to take EXO. Every Oracle across the land was like, yeah, you know, 2-0 against EXO in the Swiss stages. Second map was kind of close. First one was 200-0. It should be in the bag, but that bag was nowhere in sight. And except the bag that is the prize pool for the OWCS stage 1 was even further away as EXO knocked into the low bracket instead. But now, Vision, you know, it seemed, again, Quick just like to keep, putting a spin on things. Everyone thought that SRP check would be a little bit closer than it was. It wasn't. Team Vision, I mean, before this, we were talking about the star power that these players had, but right now, Dip, Yoham, Willis, they're all really making their names way louder than all these players that have been chanted in before this initial match.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Cuffy, who just before this matchup has said that Taejong is 3 trillion times better than
3 trillion.
3 trillion. Cuffy, go back and redo GCSE maths, I guess, because I don't think you figured out the concept. By the way, as we've said, that is why he's in fact 5'5". Incredibly clever coach. However, I mean, there's a lot of hype about Taejong, and for good reason. Being coached by Fleta, being a new up-and-coming Korean prospect, as we know, the import rule means that you are allowed Korean players on your roster, and Vision Esports took full advantage of that, having both Simple and Taejong. Simple, of course, known for time formerly being at Team Runaway, having competed in contenders. I don't believe Simple ever competed in the Overwatch League, but still played for Runaway, played for contenders. So yeah, very strong players, playing alongside players such as Merit and Chorong, and Chio. Yeah. And now that's a little bit of a change. That's a little bit of a change now from playing with players like Merit, Chorong, and instead players like, Slow Dive and AOI, but still, it's the same kind of situation, and it's the same kind of hill to be climbing. But I really do think that a lot of this does come down to the exhaustion factor. Vision having to play for so long in such a difficult game against such strong opponents in their last matchup. As match is on hold for the time being, we do think, pinch of salt, very strong pinch of salt, Dorado should be the next map that we're going to, but we've already fallen for the Numbani Gambit at this point, so, don't believe anything we say, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe anything we say.
We are going off the untrustworthy narrator that is the Faceit map system at the moment. But right now, what is a much more consistent narrator is our lovely observer informing us of the other matches. I think it's a 2-1 currently for Day Impero versus EXO. Not a close one by the looks of it. I mean, looking at the stats for that game, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 5. A lot of numbers there, none of which you wish to be eliminations, and at a lot higher death counts, to say the least. Everyone from EXO Leone having a stinker of a match by the looks of it, while Day Impero seem to be on top form, only having about like a 1 death average across the entire round 3. So by the looks of it at the moment, that grudge match might be taken away, cut short just before Quick can get the opportunity. But Day Impero are the future. Right now, Team Vision are the present, the imminent threat that Quick have to keep on handling. And I think there's a lot that can really shape up this match. But I think Taehong and Simple are definitely going to be those crucial elements for Team Vision to really shape things up.
Yeah, those are the star pieces, right? Those are the star players, and I think that when we were coming into this, we were talking a little bit back and forth about what needs to happen for Quick Esports to overcome the challenge that is Vision, right? Going in thinking, okay, well, this is assuming that Taejong can easily match or better Dip on the DPS, and Simple is going to be a problem on flex support. You feel comfortable on, hit scan, main tank, and main support that you have the advantage in those areas for Quick Esports, right? However, from what we've seen here, it doesn't even necessarily seem like, Taejong is diffing Dip that hard. Dip seem to have their number. And again, that could be a team differential, but having one star player doesn't make you a great team. You have to be on the same page, same line, same exact syllable. Without that, it's going to be a problem. And you look at Vision as a team, it does look, for lack of a better term, a bit thrust together, right? You have players from all sorts of experience levels, all sorts of backgrounds, different languages as well, coming together to suddenly play. Overwatch really is a team game. So Team Vision has banned the Lucio, so no Lucio play from either of these teams, and D.Va on the other side. D.Va wasn't particularly worried about, let's be honest, but the Lucio is interesting because it looks like it wants to enable Vision to play a Sigma comp instead. Oh no, they're attacking in the spawn room. They could just be trolling, never mind. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how the comp plays without the Lucio. Of course, you probably just substitute it for the Juno for that speed boost, but it's as we were saying earlier, unlike a Lucio, Juno can't just join in these dives.
Yeah, she's a lot more squishy, has to rely. I mean, just her ability is based on moving the same way as Lucio, but she can't be so aggressive with it, like you said. So it's going to be on Natsuki to live. But even though we said it's a little bit, maybe a little bit troll, this just seemed to be the composition that Team Vision are rolling out with. A pretty interesting look, as actually there has been a little substitution for Team Vision, one in for AOI. I'm not sure, maybe that is just because this is a bit of a pocket pick, a pocket strategy to bring out this Bat Brigma. Yeah, there's a Brig specialist from what I'm being told. So understandable. I mean, Hazard is the meta pick for a reason, but hey, you're shaking things up is what you need after that pretty disastrous map on Lijiang.
Yeah, I mean, you want to play slow here, and it seems like the ankles were broken, as I say. Well, I say that, but the rotation came out from Team Vision. I initially thought Willis was just unaware of it, but no, they spotted a bigger fish to fry in Taejong. Vision are now stuck up the creek, 4v5. They have... It's a rough position to be in, because, I mean, Taejong can't get back to the rest of the team so easily, and the rest of them, in a 4v5, are just going to slowly bleed out.
Yeah, you can see Willis already splitting the rest of the team, but in danger of his getting his own bones broken there. Has to fall back. Team Vision actually done quite a nice job of surviving. Now Taehong is back into the fray. Dip falling solo. The first Genji differential coming through. Nice clean execution there from the DPS star of Team Vision. Actually, even though Quick get the first blow, that positional advantage Team Vision got on that high ground, Quick just couldn't clean up fast enough, and it just became such a mess that Team Vision, with their, ability to play those longer fights with the Bat Brig, that is insane sustain, they just thrived in.
Of course, Taejong winning the 1v1 is going to be the flashy play there, but I think special shout out to the supports, the backline of Team Vision there. They were in a position where they had to slow the game to an absolute crawl, and they did it successfully. That's exactly what a Bat Brig backline can do for you. As Willis thinks he's Spider-Man. Spider-Man wasn't Scottish last time I checked, brother. So you're going to be returning back to the rest of your team here. Coming up on a Orbital Ray, which is always going to be a game-changing ult regardless of the meta. But it's not like Team Vision don't have their own tools to deal with it.
Yeah, give me looking at maybe the Flux or the Blade to be the best responses, but one of those options already well off the table as Taehong is sent to an early grave there. Team Vision now, they can still attempt to push the point, but being down their main flanking threat and main damage dealer, it's going to make that job a lot more difficult. Having to play so scared of Snowdrop and an impending hazard, but there's the real threat, there's the first initiation. The Flux taking out the tank, but Dip has found the trade in the backline. I'm not sure he's able to get out with his life though, as the rest of the team has been swept away backwards, and yes, that will be the case as Simple will find that pick. And Team Vision, team is in the name, and team seems to finally be in the game as they're actually coming together to keep each other alive and make the plays needed.
Yeah, and now you can see the lack of Lucio is causing some problems for Quick Esports. They're simply not able to play the Hazard at the speed that they really want, right? And Team Vision can play these slow, long, drawn-out fights. They're getting picked off early, but they're still managing to find ways to flip it. That being said, 3 ults used for Team Vision there, 0 for Quick Esports. All goes well here if you're a Quick Esports fan. The win should be coming out on their side. Taejong pulls the blade, the Dip pulled their own.
Yeah, Dip seems to be finding more meaningful mark at the moment, but it's quite an expensive fight to only get 1 kill at the moment, and already IAM has already found an answer back onto 1, though. The rest of Quick Esports will turn that into a martyr to strike down the rest with fury. Simple, just going to get staggered out at the end there, and that is what you need from Quick. They do invest 3 ults back in their own, but Team Vision only coming up on a window and potentially a Flux late fight, or Quick Esports can initiate whenever they feel like it with this Kiriko Rush and Hazard ult.
Yeah, and that's just sort of how the ult economy goes. But Team Vision, I mean, they need to build up to these ults. Their comp doesn't enable them to do that. They're going to have a window to match out whatever Quick Esports throws at them. Flux as well can always spell disaster for a Hazard, who relies so much on that block to stay alive. And you can also just kill Natsuki. A great assassination pick onto 1 there. It's going to be good. Nice little tech from IMO to protect themselves from those spikes with that grasp, but Dip continues to apply pressure to the rest of Vision. However, the chaos caused a split. Slowdive was stuck way in the backline of Quick Esports. They end up capitalizing on it.
Yeah, now this time bank is starting to slowly dwindle
What?
down, but
Dip?
Simple, that's a bit of an opening. Yeah, taking out Dip. Now Willis will be much more alone on his engager. Still, though, the help of Yoham, a cross-map headshot. He's just so clean with it today. Here's Yoham, and Snowdrop looking to try and find another headshot soon enough as Team Vision are now stuck under this high ground.
Yeah, you cannot push in without your BAP. And Simple still had the immortality field there, but just wasn't able to pull it in time to save their own life. Dip really stuck in an awkward position here. These solo flows. This is fan behavior coming out, but you know what? I respect it. You saw that last map. You have to have had someone telling you in your ear about how good Dip was. That's a pretty reasonable way to deal with him.
The Dip Nation has grown stronger, but as has the Team Vision's chance of a full map completion here. As with a minute left on the clock, they will cap this second point here. Only using one ult as well. Quick were not able to employ any of their own. They were, all kind of in the 90% mark, but just a few seconds away from having those tide-turning ultimates. Taehong, you can see the confidence growing, how much he's stepping up, how much he's, able to go in a lot more aggressively now. And Dip has to try and get his way out of being on the back foot.
Another Natsuki Orbital Ray. I'm going to see if this is a response to Taejong's Blade, or it can just be pulled a little preemptively there, as the 1v1 comes through between Taejong and Dip. Not exactly a fair fight. Natsuki was there to help out, but Taejong kind of has to recognize that you go on to Dip, and there's ample time, if you don't get that assassination quickly, for the rest of the team to follow up. That was Snowdrop. I was going to say zero ults used, but Snowdrop did invest an overclock into it. Team Vision just kind of backed off from it. Now the fight's going to get a bit leery. As now it seems to have been Natnif's turn to have vanished from the ether, which is, fine by me. Yoham's going to pop the Kitsune Rush and a Blade from Dip. That's a lot of damage. It's a window and a stun, and Dip has just been taken out of the lobby completely. 2 separate times you tried to beat with that Blade. 2 separate times you got your head taken off. However, Snowdrop knows a thing or two about taking the head off the opponent, with Slowdive going down, IMO going down, and Simple being caught out as well. Quick Esports able to turn the fight simply off the back of the power of the Orbital Ray. Natnif, have you returned?
Yes, in the blink of an eye or one lag spike of my horrific uni Wi-Fi, the time back has gone all the way back down to what we saw at the early stage of the second point, back down to only a minute left on the clock. But Taehong has another Blade in his back pocket, looking to again be the one to cleave open that second point. Already getting died on, and yet again IMA7 with the solo flux, all pressure onto Willis, but he's able to just barely escape, or at least the time being. Taehong still hot on his heels, able to convert that into a kill, and that's the opening you need for this fight. Uh-oh, Dip.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Dip.
Yeah. Dip having a bit of a Jerry moment there, unfortunately. But yeah, the Team Vision going to be pushing through. Good job with their ults there. Quick Esports, they're going to be barrel stuffed as they're coming out, which is a bit of a problem because they need the downpour and they need the overclock, and they should get both those things. But at any moment, Taejong has the capacity to pull this Blade and let things rip. Overtime situation now, no capacity to leave the point here for Vision Esports. Blade going to be ripped out, but who's your first dash target? Who are you going to get it onto? It's going to be Dip, currently deflecting it. And so that's one ult that's already been counteracted. Downpour on the point doesn't seem to have gotten a lot from Team Vision. And Taejong actually taken out by Yoham, breaking the poor Genji's ankles right there. And Quick Esports with a little bit of fancy footwork and some very nice, sort of just ignoring the ultimates, they're able to win that one out. And crazy work.
Yeah, that's gotta be quite a nice mental boost for Yoham. He sees the Genji step up and he goes, all right, listen here, young man, and shows him how it was back in his days. Yoham might be a bit on the older side, but mechanics look like a cracked out Adderall-infused 16-year-old, to say the least. And I mean, it wasn't the determining factor in that fight. It was mostly just that, Taehong just couldn't get any targets on that Blade. Dip able to deflect and get away. All the angles that Quick had made it too risky, or at least he felt was too risky for Taehong to find any executions and get those resets dashing through the whole of Quick. But it's not a terrible push still, considering, how it at least was on Control. A lot more competitive nature here being shown from Team Vision. And they also are pretty confident bringing out some different looks. The Queen, Tracer, Zen, and Juno being pulled out in aversion to that pretty standard Hazard composition we've grown so used to seeing.
Simple is a mechanical marvel. I'm interested to see how the Zen works out, because
Yeah.
oftentimes Zen is the easiest ult charge of your life. Now, of course, there are long sightlines that you can abuse here. I'm looking at Team Vision's comp. I am initially struggling to see the effectiveness of this. I'm struggling to see the synergy, right? If you're running if you're running, say, the Brig Zen, there's no Wrecking Ball, you're playing Junker Queen on the tank role instead. It sort of does harken back to that Overwatch 1 style composition. So Queen is just going to play as its own sort of unit, maybe the Queen Tracer, but I think the proof will have to be in the pudding. Only so much theory crafting I can do here, because this comp is cracked out the wazoo.
Yeah, it's a bit of a faded memory between two compositions. So right now, it's going to be clear inside of Quick Esports Vine. They just crumbled over to it in their first attempted hit on the point. Taehong, the threat of getting traded out there, they're just going to stagger out Natsuki. As I mean, when I was referencing the faded memory here, this is, I believe, especially with that Juno pick, or initially that Juno pick, was kind of reminiscent of Queen's Gambit that I've played this a fair few times, and I know that Coach Cuffy has worked with Taehong on the competition in the past as well. The Brig Zen backline, I believe when Simple was on Poker Face, this is the backline that took a map off of Team Falcons paired up with Proud's Widowmaker and the Ball from Bellasaria, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's with the Bellasaria Wrecking Ball instead of the Junker Queen style that we're seeing right here. Now Quick Esports, they are lurching onto this high ground, and they're actually going to displace Team Vision, back them up from it. This is a problem now. Quick Esports can put themselves positioning on the point. Dip has, of course, adapted over to the Tracer. It's going to be a lot more effective against a Zen in the backline. You can really bully out that character. But again, you do have to be very careful, because there's so much poke damage that can come out from Team Vision on account of that Zen, the definition of a glass cannon. You can see just how careful they're playing. Gorgeous stick coming out from Taejong there, going to be making me eat my words and continuing to hold on off the back of that pick.
Yeah, catches Natsuki with their pounce sound, and that's really gonna again buy so much time off of this initial attack from Quick Esports. They have some ults coming up, but Team Vision also has pretty perfect responses. That Trance in response to the Hazard ult, the Rally as well can also be attempted at that. I think the best opportunity is for Dip to try and open up with a pulse bomb. It's quite hard to deal with that themselves. But with Taehong constantly marking his counterpoint, it's gonna be a tall order.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you can see we're just going to return back to this position to get onto the high ground. It's all about dislodging Team Vision, but now they have the ult to kind of overcome any sort of positional advantage. Quick must say, Willis has been forced out of the fight, out of the postcode, and Dip just has to walk into slow dives, overclock right there, catching another headshot. And then out of the skybox does go Snowdrop. And yeah, this is a really odd look from Team Vision. I think Quick Esports have been thrown for a loop.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Slowdive is just the name of the montage music he's going to be using, because right now he is racking up these headshots. But Quick need to rack their brains. Like you said, they're just being caught off guard, and they need to find the solution to this. They need to realize who they can step, which areas they can really puncture into to make this a slow bleeder. They should have a lot more sustain. They should have a lot more potent ultimates, especially in this fight. A nice wall to try and isolate the tank, but no, Taehong has found the differential onto Dip. And he has a pulse on again in his back pocket. You can see him hunting after Natsuki. It's only 20 seconds left on the clock, Egda.
Yeah, that was a great wall from Willis. It forced the shout out of IMO. You thought there was an opportunity to go forward. No, Taejong takes out Snowdrop. Snowdrop, you can't be doing that. You can't be crossing in the sidelines. You can't be giving Simple all this space, all this room to work with. Now that is going to be but a fleeting thing. The orbital ray that comes out from Yoham, not going to do jack, no overtime, no hope, nothing left in it. Quick Esports. We're all tied up 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, Vision seem to have found their glasses with that composition. They are seeing clear as day what their goal is, and right now it's just enable their star players. I mean, Simple and Taehong, they're kind of partners in crime coming in as the import players, but they also work so well in that kind of symbiotic, The Tracer helps keep the enemy Tracer off of your Zen. The Zen also grants you that constant orb, that advantage in the Tracer fight. And when you can't get so simple, and Simple is just railing shot after shot after shot across the map. And yes, you do question some of the movement there, from Snowdrop, I think, like just kind of see Simple walk up and just goes, that's fine. And the Zen just like obliterates him across the map. Simple's in his name, but it's not a direction for how you should move. But I mean, that it is a point of worry. I think this is where some of the cracks can start with some of Quick Esports, that now Vision have in their heads that, Quick have just beat the one-trick team for a WCS and SR Peak Check, but now they're kind of showing that they haven't got the flexibility immediately yet to adapt to these kind of new, unorthodox styles.
Yeah, well, but put it like this, it's a very known quantity. That you know exactly what you're going to get against SR Peak Check. You can prepare for that days in advance, weeks in advance. You can go to bed dreaming about the comps they're going to play. No one's thinking, they're just going to run Junker Queen and Zen on Blizzard World First Defense. Like, nobody thinks of that. Nobody in this day and age. So, ultimately it is. Some people say it would be a coach diff, but ultimately, in that moment, it's the players that need to make that decision. And I mean, I couldn't tell you initially how to deal with it, especially because, again, you want speed. Well, you don't have a Lucio anymore. And yes, you're able to play a Juno, but we already said Juno's very squishy. Suddenly, Taejong is on the Tracer and is ripping your backline to shreds. So you're in a lose-lose situation. It was a great ban that came out. The Lucio was a very big deal, and it didn't seem like there was much that Quick could really do about it. Obviously, very different style, and again, on the defensive side, it's not like Quick had a particularly bad performance, stopping just short of third point they were able to do to Team Vision. So again, I think that was very much a strategic map, one that was already won as the bans were made, right? One that was won before they even ended up getting into the map itself. So I'm interested to see where we go for our next map and how these bans unfold. And The Impero EXO, in the meantime, has finished. The Impero are in contention to get that last slot. I mean, this makes sense. They had a 5-map banger against Peps yesterday. They were only 2 points on Clash off from qualifying and sending Peps to the lower bracket, which would be a hell of a thing to do. But yeah, The Impero has finished. They obviously beat Explosione 3-1. So now they are going to be watching this game, and possibly us in our very handsome faces, with great interest going forward.
Yeah,
or realistically,
I mean,
they're going to be watching one of the other coach streams.
that's a decent chance, but we are with a Quick official stream. I'm sure that's a way to give us the edge.
It's worth something.
Yeah. Most of the coach streams have at least one bald person with them, but if you're a bald hater, then I don't know why you're pointing at you. Trying to like
there's like 1,000% more hair on this stream.
True. Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think I'd like you pointing to your headline to be like, I'm getting there to the baldness. I was like, no, don't. No, we hate you enough. Don't need to hate yourself. It's just. I'm kidding. No, nothing.
I quit. Bye, guys. Damn.
No,
okay.
I'm joking. It's great to have you here, and I think we've made a lot of good points, especially about that composition, like being won in advance. I do agree with you to some extent, but also, this is Overwatch, the game. Everyone complains about counter swapping and rock paper scissors meta. We didn't really see those swaps come up into the composition. Yes, you can talk about losing ult charge, losing the momentum, and panicking. But I feel like when you have the Juno Brig, it's also very like you're having to brawl in with that, and a Juno Brig cannot really follow up on your hazards engage. And who's very good at Juno Brig that we've seen consistently? We saw it with NRG over at Stockholm. Queen compositions, though ult cycle very, very good. The Queen able to put a lot of pressure onto that backline. So I do think that it is kind of very preemptively headed in Team Vision's favor for that map. But I do believe that Quick need to wake up and shake up that pick into the Juno Brig. But we shouldn't be seeing too much more of it, as I believe the reason for that pick was because of the Kiriko ban. And considering the fact the AoE is back in over 1, their Brig specialist, traded in for a Lucio player, that just seemed to be us heading back to what's much more of at least a Lucio look. Maybe Lucio Juno, probably more likely the Lucio Kiriko we've been so accustomed to.
Very interesting what comes out next. I think what Vision learn on Control is that they will do everything they can to avoid the, proper hazard mirror for as long as humanly possible. Maybe they just went off leash. Of course, it is one map. Maybe they'll be forced to play it again, and they'll realize, oh, maybe we're not so bad on this. Of course, they were just able to knock off. Who was it the Vision played before this? Remind me. Someone.
Incendia, which was Skyle, Cloud, Cookie.
Yeah, they were able. So they were able to knock off very strong opponents just by mirroring the hazard composition, right? Maybe they've come up against Quick and thought, we want none of that business. So Hannah instead. I'm very interested to see what bans come out. Of course, Quick are going to have the option to ban first. So it's okay. Yeah, Juno Hazard.
Your narrative is right.
Vision. Yeah, so okay, Vision. Well, no, because Quick banned first, so it was Quick that initially banned the Juno, interestingly not protecting the Hazard pick, and then Hazard being banned out by Vision. So that's two pretty key characters now gone. So now it's odd for Quick, because, okay, sure, you have the Lucio Kiri backline, but, like, with what? Do you want to take do you want to play a Queen now? I think when you don't have Hazard available, Queen is sort of the other option, and of course Willis is a strong Queen player in their own right. Of course, we've seen Imo on it a little bit today, but Imo's job on Queen was more so to let Simple and Taejong kill everything, which they did to a degree. So that's credit to your tank player for doing their job, but when you get into the thick of it and you have to go tank for tank, band for band, I wonder how this is going to go. So the theory goes that it is Queen gameplay. Vision disagree. They really disagree.
I don't know where their vision is coming from, because by all reasonable ways of sight, this looks like a very outdated composition. But hey, they made the last one work so well, I'm full in on the gravy train here. Quick though, going to be sticking with what you expect, Edgar. That Queen composition will be interesting into that matchup. I think the Queen can really just thrive living over and over again and match that Lamatra's stay with his block whilst also having the kill potential of that knife. Taehong on the Mei is interesting. It's not really a character you expect to see your Giga carry superstar DPS on, but hey, if all you need is a wall to isolate the tank or Snowdrop, then hey, that's the fight win regardless. No flashy antics needed.
That, but I also think Genji just sort of completely bullies the entirety of the Vision composition. Of course, maybe not individually into the Mei, but against the comp as a whole, the Brawl unit, there's nothing to really dislodge you from the fight. You can get big flashes, big damage. Icebot forced a terrible position for Daejong there. Something had split them off from the rest of the team, and Quick Esports more than happy to capitalize on that one. Also bleeding out resources, but credit to Vision. Oftentimes teams will just completely lose a fight over one of these objectives and then say GG, go next, but it's good discipline to stay onto this as well.
Yeah, well, it looks to see that Imo is very comfortable on this remarch. Willis, though, definitely been put in a fortunate situation, and Vision have managed to come back from that initial pick. Imo 7 hitting out left and right hooks across the board. Johan will get one, but Taehong, you could kind of tell it was a Genji player stuck in the body of a Mei. He was trying to get some cheeky off angles, just completely hunted down. But now, back on their comfort roles of IMO 7 and Taehong, they are able to probably take this first flashpoint unless the touch comes through. The shout is in, but no touch. That's a big investment. Now they
Credit to Quick, they got out. I'm very surprised that they did, but ultimately, no harm, no foul. They went for the touch, they didn't get it, and they're able to return. Obviously, they lose the point, but it was likely gone anyway. So, interesting now. Well, it sort of needs to be getting these knives through. Snowdrop, yeah, beautiful shield is going to completely deny the overclock from Snowdrop. Vision now have the opportunity to push with their own window and their sound barrier, which Natsuki is not going to have. It's going to be trades going back and forth. Simple is dead. That is a key pick out. The numbers are in the favor of Vision, but the resources might be in the favor of Quick with a nice rampage through with Willis finishing off these members one by one of Team Vision. Again, we already know Vision aren't afraid to, take these fights. You aren't even guaranteed to cap this point for Quick.
Yeah, but I think Quick did have to invest 3 ultimates there, and Team Vision are going to be able to get a touch with 4 ults of their own. First to be popped is that overclock from Slowdive. But AOI is the first to fall. Slowdive trying to find an answer back. He's looking to take one, looking to take a second there, but we IMO7 that does that instead. Taehong now, the resets are flowing. He's able to use them to dodge away from Willis, and now Team Vision have managed to way onto the point. Willis is all the way on his lonesome. The axe keeping him alive for the time being, as the shout, but it's just a slow, tragic death there. As Team Vision, they'll take their second flashpoint.
That is a slow burn, and yeah, that is a slow burn and a half. And now, again, it's not like Quick Esports even gained a significant ult advantage for that one. Imo's going to have the Rampage, and Taejong with a Blade as well. Both teams have Blades, but the tank ult definitely in favor of Team Vision. You know, you put your Amatra on the point, park him there, have him fold the arms with that ult, becomes a death trap for any member of Quick to continue to contest. Of course, Quick will gain massively superior positioning of this point. Simple wants to break that open with this Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, and there it is. IMO7 blocking now, empowered even more with that beat. Simple as well. Both supporters best from Team Vision, and Dip is so low HP, heading to the sky to try and avoid IMO7's wrath, but he's not going to be so lucky. His Tane will hunt him down. But Willis with the Rampage connects onto so many members, and his bullets will finish up the last few as well. But again, I mean, actually, Team Vision did invest quite a lot there as well. Quick Esports have managed to neutralize the forward momentum that Vision were building up so rapidly.
I think momentum is a very good way to describe Clash as a game mode, and very interesting. And IMO actually goes off the Amatra now, so it's going to be a complete Mirror Queen composition between these teams. Partially, we were saying that IMO was on their Amatra as a comfort pick, so we can see if IMO can have as strong a performance. As the Blade comes out, it's going to be very well disengaged from members of Quick Esports, and in all the chaos, Willis just ends up taking IMO out. You have the Kitsune Rush out from Yoham on the point, and it's going to be good enough to get you the kills and get you the point cap.
Yeah, another Blade from Taehong that just kind of went a bit wide. He just was forced to deflect so early, and in part that is because Quick, you did invest, I think, was that 3 ults to 1? So maybe not too unhappy with that with Vision, but they have now matched your Clash percent or Clash progress, and we're back at this neutral fight. So Team Vision, this is going to be their fight. If they fumble this now, they will really be on the back foot, but Slowdive has to be confident in his shots, finding one, but no kills, just flesh wounds at the moment. Being corralled back into this corner. But Willis been sent flying in an incredible boop, and now Willis is all on his own, isolated. The rest of the team trying to come to his aid, but just walking into the waiting arms of Taehong and AoE, and that is the fight. That really, it just shows how much of Clash is all about this momentum, like you said. Nothing to come through, and yet again, Team Vision will continue their march onwards.
You had a very rough ult deficit to deal with for Quick. You had nothing to contest that Sojourn ult. It was a good attempt to try and take them all, to try and take down Slowdive in the duration of all of that, but it didn't work. The peel was spectacular. Once again, the Vision backline is really playing out of their minds today. Now it's going to be, 2 beats, but also the Kitsune Rush from Simple as well. Extended fight, you need Willis to charge up to another Rampage and hit a big one, like they did to save that last point. Just a few fleeting fights to go.
Yeah, it's going to come down to support or double support ult versus that Queen ult. The beats invested from both sides. Simple also using that cleanse early on. Opening now for Willis, but Simple already almost has it back, and Willis is barely clinging on to life. The cleanse is good enough to keep him alive, and he gets the Rampage up onto 4. The cleanse only taking out 3, but IM7 not able to be caught in that, and that's the crucial pick you need. Willis making his last breath a damn good one, even keeping himself alive from it. As now Team Vision, they'll throw themselves back onto the point, but they are a man down. Their spearhead, their leader gone. Will anyone step up to the new podium?
AO able to get out there somehow, so Team Vision, they do maintain superior positioning on this last point. Now it's Snowdrop's turn to show up with this overclock. It's going to be DPS ults for both these sides, plus a Kitsune Rush to enable things for Quick Esports. No sound barrier from AOI to deny any of this, and look at IMO has the Junker Queen ultimate as well. This composition just has so many extremely strong ults all the time.
Yeah, and you can see them being employed here, but Willis has to invest that Rampage. It connects onto 3 there. But I mean, Snowdrop was making a lot of headway, actually, with those rail shots, and Slowdive will eventually take out Willis there at the end. But I mean, Quick, they did force out an extra ult for their trouble. I think it's going to be pretty even, though, looking at the 4-4 ult bank at the moment. Quick, unlikely to retouch this, though.
Yeah, so this is the final point, the pendulum swinging between both of these teams. Taejong sort of caught the blade at the perfect time. Quick made it scrappy. Snowdrop, even without the overclock, was able to get crucial picks, but it wasn't enough because Team Vision just caught Quick Esports, took the fight at the most advantageous time they could. Now, band for band with the overclocks we're going to do, but Dip decides to go first with the blade, and now you only got one overclock to think about, and that's Snowdrops, and guess what? Not even going to use it. Not even going to use it, big lad.
Yeah, band for band, the whole of Team Vision are just brute boys, and they can't say it. But it does now leave an opportunity for Team Vision to come back in. They know they're not going to win this fight. They should have forced as many ults as possible out of Quick Esports. But Quick Esports know that if they let this go now, if they overinvest, they cannot win this next fight. It's not point for them, flash point for them, and they will get this point, but they do have to invest that overclock. And now Quick... Sodom actually also invested that overclock, trying to win it there and there. A little bit of hubris, maybe, as now we come down to our ninth and final point here. The ults online are going to be a little bit spread out, but IMO7 has moved over onto the Zarya, trying to directly...
The rush. They know about the rampage. That's the crucial piece, because both of these teams are going to have strong support ults. Right, it is going to be a barrier for a Kitsu rush. Oh no, the Zarya could be going down before the fight's even begun. AOI actually caught out. Now you can just turn around for Willis, get an absolutely gigantic rampage. And remember, you started this map down 2-0, and Quick have come back from the very brink. Willis, the hero at the end, and a cancelled ult, and Ajax as well. Oh my goodness, 2-1 Quick Esports on match point, and there was a cigarette paper between both teams that match. My goodness. I could watch Taejong and Dip just play Genji all day. My gosh.
Yeah. I felt that, looking at Sentinel Meta, we might get treated to that even more down the line, Egder. But yeah, Willis with that big, rush. There's so much in the way of, that ultimate getting up. It made such a big connection. And I think the knowledge to know that Zarya composition, it wants time to build up energy. It wants the ability to, to bubble in the DPS, to say the sub to deny the Queen ult. So if you just run in and either, you force such a conundrum onto IMO, do you bubble now, the engagement's coming in, or do you wait to bubble the Queen ult? You can't really, it's such a difficult situation to be in, and regardless, Quick turned that fight into a win, despite being a little bit down in the situation, especially with the Ajax there onto AoE at the end. That was a crucial factor. I'm not sure who managed to achieve that, but definitely big props to them. It must be Dip. It's always Dip, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. But now they have got themselves onto match point, and one more lap away from going to the lower bracket finals and securing the last qualification spot to play with the other 5 teams that qualified against the 3 partner teams as well. So yeah, it's all on the line here for Quick, Egder, and also pressure on Team Vision.
Yeah, I mean, this is where gems are made, right? The pressure is insurmountable for both of these teams. Quick Esports played absolutely phenomenally, right? Yeah, they played phenomenally. They played absolutely out of their minds. Quick, you are one away from getting yourselves into that lower finals again. You have D and Para on the other side. And remember what we were saying about Quick maybe having the advantage here on account of the whole exhaustion and mental factor of the game? That's going to be something very much in D and Para's favor. Not only do they have some, pound for pound incredible players, they're also going to have some very rested players. Well, depends on what time zone they're necessarily in, because they'll probably be an hour ahead of where we currently are. Two British people talking about French players playing. How awful, yeah. I know. Yeah, and I can't even imagine for players like Taejong, players like Taejong and Simple. What time is it in Korea right now? Because whenever I watch the OWCS Korea or Asia matches, they're always on at 8-10 in the morning. So I imagine it's
probably
put that Google feature to good use, lad.
Yeah, I was gonna just make a guesstimate and say probably past our bedtimes. Well, let me see. Time in. I'm assuming they're playing from Korea. I was at least Taehong. Oh, it's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. Monday for them right now. So yeah, quite a different time zone to compete in. I mean, when
Imagine
this is your job.
Imagine you're trying to hard com for like the finals, like let's say Vision get to like stage 1 finals, and then like Taejong's like mum comes into his room and just starts like hitting him with a shoe because it was just yelling like too damn loud at the game at 5
I mean,
a.m. It's like, you don't understand. I'm about to win like $100,000. It's like, shut up. I need sleep.
I've was gonna say I've been there, but I've not been hit by the shoe part. When you're playing in the Calling War Heroes recently, they did shift the time zones to make it so the tournament started at like 3 a.m. in the morning for all our European players. And yeah, definitely.
Do you stay up until 3, or do you sleep and then wake up at like 2 or so?
I stayed up till 3. I think the plan initially was to go to sleep and then wake up, but considering how one of our only scrim we had before championships we had to miss because one of our players overslept during that plan, we were all like, no, we're all going to stay up, no one's going to oversleep, and we were, we trooped on through it to a 9th place. So
ninth place is still better than the other teams that were 10th.
True, the other 4 teams in the championship.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Do not let your dreams be dreams. So.
Sure, I'm looking forward to playing more. But right now, the games that are a lot more prevalent to the time being are upcoming ones. I'm assuming the game is on hold or something. It's been quite a long break. I feel like that all the teams are just conniving and scheming over what their bans, because that's a big decision. I think the bans so far, just to remind our viewers, we wish we had some kind of graphic to visualize it for you, but it's been a Juno Hazard ban, that most recent map. So the Hazard ban is off the cards for Vision Esports, as is the Juno ban. And then Diva Lucio was the ban on the first game. And then I'm trying to remember what the second one was. Might have been.
I think Blizzard World. It was Diva Lucio.
Yes.
The first match. It was something.
Moira.
Yeah. Something that just protected. The tank and support picks from both the teams. Nothing particularly special. Now, again, getting into that, we've already seen a little bit of strategic genius coming out from Vision Esports with their Blizzard World Gambit. But put it bluntly, they haven't done particularly well in the Hazard Mirror. And they haven't done particularly well in the Queen Mirror, right? The Queen Mirror, admittedly, was exceptionally close. So I think there's merit in them possibly running that again. But again, it's not like Hazard can be banned again. And if you're quick, why would you not just play Hazard, right? You don't have to worry about protecting a tank pick anymore. You can ban Simple Zen just to be a massive hater, especially because we're going to Dorado as our next map. So this is definitely a map where you can get away with a little bit of shenanigans. I feel like when you're on things like Clash, Flashpoint, Push, Control, you're sort of, when the meta is something very hard and fast, very brawly, involves Lucio, Kiriko, Hazard, you kind of have to play it, right? And you kind of have to work around that.
Yeah.
When you're on, when you're on Hybrid and Escort, you can think a little outside the box. Kiriko and Tracer. So, no Kiriko would be allowed. That was a Vision ban first, so that doesn't take any of the tanks off the table necessarily. It definitely weakens Queen on account of the fact that you can run an effect. Now I'm considering, because I think the little birdie in our ear told us about the fact that Vision were running some Ana. I'm interested to see whether that's happening now as well.
I think, especially considering they have one in there, a subtle nod there from our observer, a slight sign. I'm sure none of our viewers picked up on that. Yes, they are going to be running the Ana, and especially with that big player in player 1, they are going to be leaning into this typical background you see on this map. It's very strong for certain reasons. The Genji being enforced here as well. Trace is often a common pick just to keep forcing that cart through, but Genji can do that just as well a lot of the time. Hazard in play from both sides, not unexpected. I have seen Winston's and Diva here a fair bit here and there, but no, Hazard is still going to be the play, and Slowdive is going to get immediately assassinated by that player, by that character straight up.
Yeah, okay, bye dude, I guess, is going to be the name of the game. That's a hell of a way to open the map up. Nice anti-nade is out from Simple. I think when you have Simple and you give them the ability to play flex support, you put him on characters like Zen and Ana. Of course, not like Kiri can't pop off, but you think Ana, you think Zen, you think those kinds of characters. Of course, Quick, they were able to, delay Vision for a little bit on account of that first kill. Both these teams, of course, are going to be fighting over this red building. It's the perfect staging ground for a dive, and Johan peeked their head out for a little too long. And Quick, it's time to go fast or die just as fast.
Well, Natsuki managed to find a rail shot onto Taeyong, but no, the red will just keep taking more red here. Slowdive finding their third kill this fight. Zip will find a tray, narrowly missing the shots onto Simple there as well. But time has been whittled off of the clock, but not as long as you would like for Quick Esports, I imagine. Snowdrop with the fade away there.
How'd you do that?
So, yeah, Snowdrop just getting away with some cheeky shenanigans there. They will be able to retouch here, but Simple is way ahead on Nano Charge when he gets back into the fight.
Yeah, you can just see the experience that Simple has on the Ana. Of course, returning from spawn and is instantly going to set the Nano onto the hazard. Slept up by Imo, but but the wall also means it's not like you can just back up here, at least easily if you're Johan. It's going to be a trade, DPS for DPS. You need to push through if you're Quick Esports. You need to get onto the point. It's a Nano that's through onto Willis, but such a tight angle. You cancel the ult! The sleeper's cancelled Imo's ultimate, but the point, it's so close to being flipped right now. Willis is 1 HP, 0.2 meters away. And my goodness, Quick Esports, don't do that to me.
Yeah, Johan with that second Nano showing that speed is not always the name of the game, able to use to keep Willis alive, and of course, what a beautiful sleep to shut down IMO's ult. Willis also did have to invest that own, but actually able to get those off this time. It's all going to come back down to these blades again. Dip versus Taeyong, the narrative that's been going on through this entire match at the moment. Dip going to pull his first. Can Simple land the sleep? No, but the rally stun will be landed. Has to force back all the way, which now means once Taeyong has his built up, he can let us loose. Natsuki will have his own rally try and deal with it though.
Yeah, that's a great use. It's actually going to be a defensive use of the ult from Natsuki. Sort of heard Slowdive from the distance with the overclock, got a bit spooked, popped the rally. It's going to be largely ineffectual, especially because Dip has been caught by an anti-nade from Simple in the meantime as well. Snowdrop's high ground position is about to become very tenuous to stay on, and Willis went for an aggressive play there. Didn't pay off quite so well, ended up getting picked off. Nano invested onto the brig. Johan put that onto Natsuki. You're either swapping or, well, throwing? Is that the polite way to say it?
I think, I mean, it's always nice to see a bit of romance between the Ana Brig backline, but I think that's a bit too much. Buy him dinner first, maybe, Johan. That's quite a heavy investment, which now means there's a Nano Blade without any real strong answer outside of that Hazard ult, which can be quite easily skirted away from with a movement ability here or there. So now it's all eyes on Simple and Taeyong if they can get this execution going right.
They were playing in a diabolical position. Nano Blade, what year is it? It
doesn't
matter, because you know what didn't exist in 2019? Hazard able to deny the Nano Blade. 1 ult for 2. That's a trade you're exceptionally happy with. If you're Quick Esports, you end up keeping control of the high ground right now. Anti is going to force Dip away. Vision can continue pushing the cart, but the fact that Quick aren't dead in the water, well, timing is everything. With Snowdrop going down, but Slowdive slept up.
Nice.
There's an opportunity here. Natsuki popped the rally, but it's not enough for them to be able to live. Meanwhile, One's on the point. Is just going to force Dip back into the corner where you belong, little man. And all of a sudden, I mean, again, Quick did a phenomenal job to outlast so many of Team Vision's ultimates, but they eventually crumbled under the pressure.
Yeah. Dip just getting his lunch money taken there by the much more effective rally from One. But there is going to be a retouch coming through. No ults just yet. They're all just on the horizon for Quick, whilst Team Vision do still have that overclock and IMO's Hazard ult. Already deflect forced out.
No!
Oh my good, there's no way. No, they live that
back.
Surely, but both movements have been invested. Dip trying to hunt down this Ana Brig backline has been closing and wrapping this blade. Johan also has Nano Boost. Nano Boost invested onto Willis instead. Natsuki and Johan both fall to the ground, and Willis will find the trade, but can he get the touch and more? He's going to have to do so much more, find so many more kills, but he's all on his lonesome. No, it'll be a bittersweet reunion back in the spawn room.
Symbol does opt to invest the nano boost into the equation. Might be a little bit of a wasted ultimate there. Quick Esports are looking a lot better in terms of their economy. Blade and an overclock with theoretically nothing that Team Vision can do about that. Taejong's always going to be an X factor with the Blade, but it's not like Dip is any slouch in their own right. Neither is Willis.
Taking no breaks, just taking names at the moment. Hunting down Slowdive will surely put Vision on the back foot, especially with a nice, beautiful anti from Johan. Taehong will actually manage to live there with the help of the block. Willis now is under threat as Natsuki will find his counterpart, but Simple gets the execution onto Dip, forcing Willis to have to invest that hazard ult. But Taehong has taken another blow. Make that 3. Johan will finally put an end to his Iron Fist, but is that Slowdive sliding into action? I think it is. I mean, hey, I'm not questioning that anymore.
Yeah, was able to catch Snowdrop. What was such a great fight for Quick Esports has now gone very much the way of Team Vision. Of course, the spawns are a bit better for Quick, and the fight was scrappy, so the momentum's going to be halted. They'll to get a little more time off the clock here for Team Vision, but Willis has been being bullied a little bit in these past couple of instances. Taejong was definitely eager, thought maybe Willis got trapped up in that ultimate, but it was not to be. Dip is still overlooking menacingly with the Blade, eventually receives the Nano. What are you going to do with it? Get stunned up, booped away. You're not able to get the Ana just yet, but you're able to barely get the slashes through at the very end. Taejong, however, Nano Blade of their own, 66 HP. Where are the members of Quick Esports? Because they're only just respawning. They need to get back here. There's an overclock and 3 meters left on the point. Are you able to get there in time? No, you're not! The Snowdrop.
A second away from buying the moment needed for Quick to try and get it back. But in the end, Taehong's Blade was just able to get more value over Dip. I mean, we've been going on about Dip and Taehong so much, but I think something's gone a little bit under our radar, perhaps, is Snowdrop versus Slowdive. And in this instance, right now, Slowdive has just been taking Snowdrop's head over and over and over again. Repeated brunt force trauma to Snowdrop's poor little noggin. And that was the fight, that was the kill, that opened up that fight and got them a 48-minute time bank and a 3rd point capture on Dorado here. Yes, Koreans are good at dive, but Slowdive also looking to join that squad as Team Vision look pretty comfortable on this map.
Yeah, and completely capping Dorado.
This is the most dramatic pause after capping. I mean, it is a pretty dramatic instance, I will give you that, Agda. I'm assuming having a little bit of a technical issue at the moment. Hopefully we're able to avoid all those in games. Again, thank you for Egda to being our channeling mystic, able to take all the technical problems away from the stream and the game and onto themselves. We salute your sacrifice. But Snowdrop looking to make a blood sacrifice here instead on the Widowmaker to start things up. Will he find the shot to open things up? This has to be, a pretty old trick in the book, and not looking to get any immediate opportunities, but he's going to be sticking on it for just a little bit longer. Maybe the whole time, as actually IMO has fallen so low, but an anti onto Willis is going to really make it difficult to chase that kill any further as well. Simple landing the sleep to deny that early aggression. Well, we do wait for my partner in crime to return. Dip right now looking to separate things, and again, so much better onto IMO, but he's able to get topped up over and over and over again as Quicker trying to get this cart rolling through this very treacherous high ground, this Bermuda Triangle of the map for many. But Dip, an anti, has to dash into the wall, barely gets away. A sliver of HP, the last pixel, so resilient as Willis and co gather, cuddle together for some team morale, looking for their next effective hit.
I think I've gotten myself back. We good?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you now.
Okay. So, as we can see, Simple is hitting these anti-nades like an absolute goober right now, as is Snowdrop, hitting the equally as impressive goob shot onto Taejong to take that DPS threat out of the fight right now. Now it's going to be a very slow game for Quick Esports right now. Yeah, IMO's able to trade onto Johan. They actually invest a Nana into this, and IMO can get 2 here, but you're all out of luck. You're out of spawns. You ain't got any teammates left with you right here. So the Nano, even though it was good for a couple of flash kills, in terms of the grand scheme of things, probably not going to be worth a whole lot for you.
Yeah, I mean, a nano hazard is a beast, but you're an animal, you need a deity to turn that around. And IMO7 just does not have that in the tank. But
Great
what a
wall.
wall from Willis. The slide perfectly used to get away there. Shout out to Slow Dive for timing that so well. But now Willis has a hazard out, looking to get even more people trapped in his spikes. And Nano Blade out from Dip with a sleep on the Simple in his final breath will limit the kills to only one, but everyone's had to flee the scene. No forensics team to examine the body of Simple there, all the crime that was committed back in his last breath. And Slow Dive, he didn't invest the overclock, it just looked like he did.
Yeah, no overclock used there. Great sleep from Simple, but a fraction of a second too late. Genji simply just had to look up at his successes, and you only need the one kill realistically there at the end. It was great pressure, especially Willis there was just barrel stuffing Team Vision, meant that the touch that they could get was very ineffectual. One HP round the corner as their namesake is taken down. Willis has to be a little bit careful here to not get taken out, but is alive, is eventually going to be locked up. And yeah, Yoham's got to reload eventually. Natsuki, oh no, you put the rally in to try and save the life of Willis.
What?
Ultimately, it was some maybe misplaced compassion.
Yeah, that nade though. Definitely not misplaced. Neither is Snowdrop shot to take out Simple. And yeah, those trades coming through actually might buy Quick some breathing room to get back onto this high ground. That's unfortunate, right? Which means that ones will be a lot more unanswered. And Taehong and Simple are rounding up to another Nano Blade as well as Slow Dive with this overclock. It's still fairly even-ish on the ult situation, but with 3 minutes on the clock, Quick have a lot to work with.
Yeah, IMO wanted to get back onto high ground, but wasn't able to do it. Downpour doesn't hit anything. IMO Slash definitely gets a lot more value, and now you're just sort of desperately, turning around here if you're Quick Esports. You know that when you're doing that in a fight, that one of yours is lost, and you all just suddenly hear the Metal Gear Solid alarm sound go off and turn your head. You know you've probably lost it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Hazard is like, kind of like the Metal Gear meme, like he's just punching the Ambassador over and over again, doing like tickle pointed damage. But it also is insane amount of output that IMO7 just going in one-shotting Snowdrop before they could even do anything or unleash their own. And Simple again, so good at slipping these nades past Genji's deflex, making it look like a bit of a cosmetic ability. And yet again, a whole minute taken off the clock by these few choice encounters.
Yeah, I think this is just a matchup which favors Team Vision being able to have Simple play this distance, hit these antis. You have another Nano Blade combination coming up, which should just, rip the enemy team apart. I feel like Dip has just been on the end of so many of these nades, but Snowdrop's actually taken the Nano out of the equation. Not before it was able to get onto Taejong. What was that kill onto Natsuki? Where did that come from? I didn't even see the brig, you young man. What are you doing?
Yeah, that feels diabolical. I think Simple must have given the Nano, surely. I mean, he's gone over onto the Juno here for the last minute 30 of the map. But Taehong, I mean, they invest a lot there, but when it's paying off like that, I get it. I so get it. It was worth it. Taking out 4 that fight. It's now going to be on Dipsy if he can get a reflection of that performance in this next fight, as time is really, really running short for the side of Quick Esports. And even lower, Simple takes out Dip with that Juno, and the rally falls apart. You couldn't even tell it was there. Taehong deflecting the sleep onto their own tank of Willis, and now it's only a minute left, Egda.
And the fight plan from Quick there, it was pretty clear. It was to Nano Blade Dip, easy as that, Bob's your uncle, get your fight win. It didn't work because Dip never got the Nano because was taken out by Simple. Again, Simple hates Dip right now. Is his number one op in Mexico of all places. Like, it is crazy work that's happening right now. You do have the Nano Blade combo now, and it's going to come out here.
Where are you going, Slow Dive? I mean, I know you want to die, but that was neither slow nor elegant. Just straight into the waiting arms, Dip, a smile on his face, watching the freest skill of his life soar down.
Bro thought he could fly.
I mean, actually,
he was on Juno.
Yeah, that was definitely something going on there. And I mean, it's
I'm
gonna.
just imagining Lion King music playing over that footage, and sliding into the ether. Taejong, however, speaking of Genji players and causing some problems, comes through here, forces Yoham off the high ground, but Willis has done the damage on the point to take 2 out already, and Imo dead as well. I mean, it was the use of the downpour from Willis which was the difference maker there, and Team Vision investing notes of their own, but they have a minute and a half to hold on to one of the most difficult points in the game to attack. Hazard players never cease to impress me with this weird tech that they always manage. They find a ledge to climb on every map.
Yeah. Riyadh has Surmajet, and Overwatch has Hazard. Batman from the skies controlling these high guys. A nice sleep, though, to shut down the Hazard play from IMO7. Slowdive looking to try and take heads, but at the moment it's only body shots. But Natsuki falls to Simple, and Taehyung also takes out his partner, Yoham. And now this could really spiral out here. Some late staggers could turn this into a final fight situation.
It's odd. You would think that the Juno Brig favors a bit of a brawlier style from Team Vision, but Simple's still very much playing their range, and now Simple has an Orbital Ray. Of course, Nano's a phenomenal support ultimate. Orbital Ray is the best support ultimate, arguably, but right now, with what we have on the field, is the strongest ult that Team Vision have. Think about enabling Taejong with not just a blade, but a rally as well. I am with the blade, with the rally, and the Orbital Ray. I am salivating.
Yeah, Taehyung going in. There's none of that follow-up, though, as we expected. I think they're just trying to see if they can buy time, and that now... Oh, I mean, yeah, there's just the brute force. Doesn't even need the blade to do the work. It's just going to be paired up with the rest of it all. And Quick Esports, they get the map stolen away from them there. Team Vision match the map score, and we're going to a map number 5, Edgar.
Vision, yeah, I mean, the Kiri ban meant that Simple could come in and play the Ana, and then you could play the Ana Brig style, which Team Vision seem a lot more comfortable on. Of course, this is sort of what hero bans do. There's obviously arguments in favor of them, arguments against them, but it means that if you are a team like Team Vision, where maybe you're not as comfortable in the Lucio Kiri Hazard styles or Lucio Kiri Queen styles, you can find ways to work away from that and to have other things to play, especially on different maps as well. That being said, if I go through the maps that we've been through, we have now been through Control, Hybrid, Escort, and Clash, which means, if I am correct, I want to say Push as the final. We've had Clash, we saw that. With
Flash? Right? Flashpoint?
Yes, Flashpoint, yeah. It should be Flash. It's either Flashpoint or Push, which is the final one. But the point is, these are the maps where you don't really have that luxury anymore, especially because now we look at all of the core components of the Hazard comp, right? Well, Hazard's been banned, so you can't ban the Hazard. Lucio's been banned, so you can't ban Lucio. Kiri's been banned, so, there we are. What more do you want to get rid of, right, from that comp? Well, nothing. You can't get rid of anything from the Hazard comp. A Soj, they'll just play Ashe.
They'll just play Ashe or Tracer. Yeah,
if you get rid of the Genji, maybe they'll just play Tracer, but that doesn't change the whole, tank support matchup kind of thing, right? Quick can protect anything they want as well, right? So if they really want to play dip on the Genji, they can just ban Junkrat off the rip, and, no one's playing Junkrat, but suddenly they can play Genji now. So I feel like it's like a sort of a little bit of the inevitable that we see out. That being said, it means that we've seen a lot of variation today. I mean, they played a different comp on like every map, right? In the first map, it was the standard Hazard stuff. By the third map, it was the Junker Queen style. The second map, we saw the weird Zen Tracer Queen comp, which worked out really effectively. That last map, we got to see Hazard comp, but with Ana Brig backline instead. It's very interesting and very refreshing to see so many styles being played.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it does look like we're coming back all the way to the initial Hazard mirror with, all the typical ingredients for the list, as all those hero bans have preemption avoided. So now a quick get the pick of a litter to see, who can they comfort ban away? Can they stop maybe a cheeky Ana play count for Simple? I feel like we might see some kind of adaptation come out, but it is rough in the face of the domination that has been, this Hazard. It works so well. Everyone's so mobile, decent sustain, all incredible one-shot pick potential. Kiri just works really well. The combination the Suzu does with so many ultimates. So again, it's going to come back to that. But like we said, yes, Kiriko can hit some very nice headshots. We saw it with Johan playing earlier. Yes, the Kiriko rush is incredibly important. Yes, if your Kiri player is playing like garbage, you get the CD's force, you're going to lose the fight. But when you have stars like Simple, she is kind of at the moment very much being put in that role of just healing and shooting whenever you kind of can get away with it, but it's very little compared to like an Ana or a Zen's impact. So maybe we'll see Simple try and go away, deviate from that Kiriko decision, but I think it's all very much up in the air. This is all very much the ball being in Team Vision's court for how they have their last hurrah. Will it be them continuing on to the next matchup against Di Impero and again fighting for that last qualification spot, or will it be their journey ending prematurely, I think, for a lot of these players, by all accounts, here to the hands of the fearsome Quick Esports?
Yeah, and remember that we will be following it regardless. Well, of course, unless Vision win, at which point, well, if Vision win, we're offline. Because we're the quick people, right? We are bought and paid for by Quick Esports organization. Well, bought and paid for is a strong word for it, but still. So that's
nothing appreciated by
loved and appreciated and given exposure. How do you accept your payment, Nat? And if I love exposure, I love it so much. But no, it's great being here. Of course, being able to. I was saying this earlier. I've been like a fan of Daned since since the British Hurricane days, back when I was like 13, like 14 or so. And so being able to watch Daned now and then actually cover him like today, that's crazy work to me. So I'm a fan. We're all fans at the end of the day. We're just fans who pretend that we're fans who pretend like we have some kind of special quality which makes us entitled to talk about the players and
mostly we just
such as like we're on a pedestal. No, we're just fans at the end of the day. We're just goofy fans who like Overwatch. So
but to find out.
So, Samoa final map bans Ana and Reaper. Effectively, I don't think this means right. What this tells me, Vision banned first, and they were really annoyed with Simple hitting all those anti-nades, and so they've gotten rid of the Ana pick and also protected their Lucio Kiri backline, right?
Yes.
For Vision, they got rid of the Reaper because they had to pick a character, I guess.
Basically, it does feel like that, yeah. It is definitely, I think the bans do favour a Quick Esport very heavily. There's a bit more impactful because whether or not Simple would have actually played Ana is up for debate, but now the option, it's not an option, it's completely denied. So it's going to be back to seeing if the adaptation, if their performance will improve since that first map that we saw with this initial lineup. Map 5 here, determining who goes on deeper into the OWCS Stage 1 here. First fight on Samoa.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously that first map wasn't particularly close, but there was a Queen matchup in map 3 that was played between these teams. That was down to the wire. One Ajax from AOY is what ended it at the end of the day, right? Now, coming in to play the Lucio here, you're not going to say it's an AOY problem. It's more of the Kiri Lucio issue that they haven't been, quite as comfortable with, right? It's Quick Esports taking a lot of control around the point, but no team really pressuring the point itself out yet. Just the way this point is built, you can stay on your own side of things. Ooh. However, Natsuki fell low there, taken out by Slow Dive, and there's the go signal for the rest of Team Vision to collapse onto Willis.
Yeah, Slow Dive will get faded away by Johan. He's just been collecting these for himself, and actually will get away with his life in the meantime. But yeah, the first fight going cleanly the way of Team Vision. Simple 20% ahead on that rush as well. Could be a bit more of an opening to go super aggro, knowing you're ahead of Johan in that regard. But yeah, these side flanks, it's all about these matchups between the 2 versus 2s and the 1 versus 1s. And right now in that fight, Slow Dive is just coming up ahead. He needs to get shut down, and Taehyung also needs to keep on being suppressed.
Yeah, early slash came in. It's good damage on slow dive, but no kill
Oh,
eventually.
the
That being
wall.
said, yeah, the wall was good. It meant that Willis was sort of forced into that fight way longer than they wanted to be. Just a Kitsune rush for Team Vision here. An economical fight win and some late staggered out kills as well.
No.
Oh, all the way into spawner. Imo, you freak of nature. What are you doing, man? Well then,
Yeah,
that's a whole lot of kills.
Yeah, looking to try and get 97 kills, getting his namesake out there for a reason, but that's some pretty devastating staggers. It's going to be like a 70-80% point percentage by the time the Quick Esports even get online, but Willis looking to go early here. Gets deflected, I think, there by the hazard ult there by Taehong, and now he has to dodge out of 907s, but slow drive showing what happens when the sun hits. I must imagine will give his life to try and get one of those kills, and now it's all going to be on a big pop-off from a member of Team Vision, but AOA think it's winnable, as does Taehong, the Beat Blade coming out. So Dive yet again on fire, sending 1-2 up to the heavens with the space stations, and AOI getting the third, and this is a scuff fight. Slow Dive even has the overclock to challenge whoever tries to jump onto this point in last, and it's looking like 100-0 for Team Vision.
Wow, okay. Slow Dive stepped up, right? Really putting on a clinic on the Sojourn on that map here. This is so different from the first map, but as I was saying, a lot of things have changed. A lot of time has passed. The rust for Vision has been well and truly shaken off. You know, we're talking about that exhaustion diff that may have came in. Guess what? Now both teams are exhausted. It's not like Quick didn't just have to, you know, play against Peak Check before this, and they haven't just faced 4 maps of some of the most brutal Overwatch that they have had to play for, right? Quick Esports, it is now or never. They need to show up, and especially on this point, given how there are such good sightlines for your hit scam player. I mean, Snowdrop was not having the best end of the conversation with Slow Dive's railgun in that last map, or at least that last sub point. You need to fix that up now.
Yeah, we're going to need to see a Blizzard-level performance coming out from him. Not single snowflakes, but big picture.
That helps as well.
Yeah, Willis said again, going to make his job a little bit easier, taking out a main dive threat. But actually, both Genji's now off the field thanks to Imo's antics there. I think Quick do have the advantage getting that first pick a little bit quicker, but neither team can comfortably step up onto the point. Willis will do first, but Imo's sure to match, and there it is. Now back to the stalemate as the Genjis are already practically back in the fight.
Yeah, Willis backs up. Imo falls very low. There's a push-pull that's come through, and both of these teams now very much pulling back here. Again, you have to be very careful of Slow Dive. Willis jumps in there, not even necessarily to get the kill, but just to sort of force that positioning away. And meantime, Dip, I mean, who's it going to be, right? We've been talking so much about Taejong for the past couple of maps, but we can't forget Dip on the Genji, taking out AOY. However, the point cap did come through for Team Vision, so even if Quick are able to eventually win this out, it's not like Lucio's the most impactful pick in the world. You should eventually be able to get this, but for Team Vision, you want to buy as much time as you can. Force out resources. Why not pop the Kitsune rush in? Or you could even kill Willis here. Hang on a minute. Quick Esports, what's happening?
I mean, this roster is incredibly impressive from Quick, but I think you need a janitor, because right now they're failing to clean up so drastically. Yes, Johan will sneak in a little point flip for a cheeky couple percentages there, but right now, Quick Esports have gotten the first pick like 3 times, and every single time, the fight has just fallen apart from there. Team Vision dancing around the rest of them. Slow Dive putting on a little interpretive dance show as well to show that he absolutely agrees, and that I have amazing hair. Thank you there, Mr. Slow Dive. But hopefully, Snowdrop can find some interpretive dance moves here with his overclock, showing that he is still a force to be reckoned with. There's so many ults across the board, though. First, though, is Johan. No Kitsune to Rash from Simple. There's the first hazard ult dip. Has to dip out of that one, but Snowdrop finds the kill onto Taehong. There we go. The performance we just see from the DPS and the whole of the team, actually, as they all come alive to make sure the Team Vision stay very dead.
Very cheap, very disciplined from those teams. You know, with hindsight being 2020, Johan probably should have used the Kitsune to mirror last fight to get control of the point earlier. That being said, use it now. You're able to flip the point 71%. It's not quite final fight territory, but it's final clean fight territory. Right, now Quick Esports going to have their overclock. Early blade out from Dip. It's going to be counteracted by the Soul Baron. Actually taken out!
Natsuki's beat was just not able to reach him in time, and now Taehong is let cleanly rip through the whole members. But the Suzu, the boop away, what a comeback! You don't need ults to shut down that blade, just some nice mechanics there, but Slow Drive getting a nice shot as well, but Snowdrop, Willis, everyone answering back, suddenly getting a second for this fight, and Quick Esports are holding on to the point. Incredible play there from Natsuki and Johan to shut down that lethal blade from Taeyong.
Yeah, and Dip ended up getting themselves back into this, somehow, some way. The Madman's done it. The Madman's doing it. You have to be very careful for Taejong. You cannot go down here. That would be disastrous for your team, but no, it's not going to happen. Now it's a relatively even fight. Both these Kiri players getting close to their Kitsune rushes. We seem to be in final fight territory, at least for, Team Vision. If Quick lose this, they may have another chance. Willis is on a bit of an angle right now. Where's Yoham? Just been left out to dry. But in the meantime, the unit from Taejong, AO, where are the players going?
Emphasis on the final syllable of AOY's name because I know he was trying to save Taeyong, but now he just fed his life on the line. Dip has to come up with some good resets though, as Willis has been taken out of the fight by Imo. But he's now being hunted down as well. But Snowdrop finding the Sojourn gap. He's come alive in the time of need. And now there's the Kirk Rush to embolden him to stand up to the force that is handed and take him out, taking out AOY as well. The point that has come back and forth, and Taeyong will get a trade onto Yoham. That I think it's almost certain that a touch can come through, but it's going to be very, very scuffed.
That's not guaranteed in the slightest. No? It's not guaranteed at all. They can't. They couldn't get there. Slowdive was slowed up at the last second, and Snowdrop had the angle covered anyway. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, final map, lower bracket qualifier. D'Impero are watching this, salivating right now. Both of these teams, they have done so well in this. Oh my god, the pressure is mounting. I'm losing my mind. You guys can probably tell. For good reason, for damn good reason.
Yeah, we talk about pressure making diamonds, but everyone here has to be playing champion level or above to make sure that they can keep on going, especially in the daunting knowledge that this is not even the final map of the day. They have to keep on going, but no point talking about the future right now. It all comes down to the knife edge. That is the present 1-1 here on Samoa. 2-2 map score. Who will be the ones to come out on top? Quick Esports take the point a little bit early here, but both teams are going to settle into this stalemate. Who will be the first to make the move?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Dip's gone in for incredibly low. Imo went for a stray slash there, going to corner up and just hold the block. You're not particularly worried, right? It's oddly enough, it's very difficult to feed on the hazard, given, you have the wall jumps on such a short cooldown. You can always block to buy yourself some time. Team Vision putting themselves early on the point. I think Quick, they're going to be forced to give it away. Now it's the engage that comes through. Natsuki's the one that falls low, but I say I'm almost stuck between a wall and a wall. A hard place and a hard place there. Tag presence gone completely for Team Vision. That first initial flip's going to get them maybe 20% if they're lucky, but Quick Esports, they win the war.
Yeah, Dip will clean that one up, taking advantage of the Fortnite game being played between IMO7 and Willis. And yeah, that initial slip-up, it's going to be biting Am, especially looking at Yoham finally getting a bit of a deja vu, but in the opposite, in the reflection here. Yoham's going to be ahead on the Kirk Rush this fight, and maybe Simple is going to be quick to match, but there could be advantages needed. I say that, though, it's already nearly being matched. Now, Yoham has it at the ready. Simple only 10% behind. He'll be the first to let loose. All out. There it is. Simple ready to match, but not being able to fall. AOY gets cut down to smithereens. And now Simple has to hold on to it for the next fight.
5% was the percentage that Simple was away from mirroring their own Kitsune Rush and, keeping Team Vision in that fight. Not going to happen as Dip plays, very cheekily right now. Really wants to build up to that blade nice and quickly. Of course, this does mean that Vision have their own advantage with that ultimate. Willis hiding in an odd position right now, but has been found out. Use of the downpour there, not going to be particularly effective. A Simple now going to put that one through the choke, but the beat came out from Natsuki, meant that Willis had full confidence to walk straight into that Kitsune Rush. All the foxes, all the bells and whistles you want doesn't mean a thing when you're able to get the other tank out of the fight.
Yeah, Quick Esports do invest heavily there, but a fight win here is crucial. Again, it'll be coming down to like a final fight, or at least a final clean fight terrorist like this last time. But right now, Slowdive looking to be the one causing some chaos. Dip, the X Factor, so low, and Taehong's blade has to be pulled. Big investments from the time of Team Vision. Yes, it'll get him this fight win and a couple extra cleanup kills at the end. Taehong doing some tricks on it right now. But they do have to invest quite a lot that fight and reset to an equal ult situation.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, you say equal ult situation. Imo has the downpour, but the downpour isn't that great of a tank ult. As busted as Hazard is, it's not due to the ult, right? It's often very easy to avoid. It can sometimes just kind of miss targets right in front of you that you really think it should hit. Snowdrop's overclock. It's going to be the case. I think Snowdrop will overclock here, and then Vision will take that as the go signal to engage on them. Whether Snowdrop lives through that could decide this map very, very quickly.
Yeah, like it is the Hazard ult, like you said, it's gonna Ryan Slowdive straight into a stray shot. And oh no, there's the Kitsune rush. This could spell the end. It will end Simple's life, looking to add IMO 7 to that list. Snowdrop collecting for this fight, and that's exactly what you need. Again, it's going to come down to a last touch here, and Willis is pushing aggressively. He knows he can try and deny this straight up, and he knows he's so close to the Hazard ult as well.
Yeah, Slowdive's been forced to swap over to the Tracer. You don't want to have this final fight. You don't want a prolonged time back. You don't want anything. The touch comes through at the very final second. You are cutting it very close for AOY, and Willis is cutting you even closer because you'd have been taken out of the game. Yoham Simple falling at the same exact time. 4v3 situation right now for Quick Esports. They have the numbers in the fight. Willis is falling low. Taejong falling just a little bit lower. Willis is eventually going to have to get themselves back on the point. Natsuki! You had the sound barrier! Natsuki had the sound barrier and couldn't get back onto the point in time. I was taken out. Slowdive is there. Slowdive's caught 2 in this. They're back on the point. Natsuki! What have you done?
My jaw is through the floor, Egda. That is a disastrous shift in misfortune. There's no words to explain the tragedy, but it could become so much worse, indescribable beyond nightmares, if Team Vision turn this around. Natsuki, yes, still has the beat, Dip still has a blade, but it's given time for Taeyeon to build up for his own. Natsuki gets the beat off very, very early now, but the rest of Team Vision are scattering, and there's no initial impact. There is Taeyeon taken out. The blade is now off the cards for Team Vision. It's all going to be through brute force and sheer will to keep them in this fight, Egda. Dip has the blade coming up so close.
Yeah, it's going to be Dip. He's going to pull it out. What are you doing? You're trying to get Simple out of the sky. It works. Yoham eventually finishes it off with a kunai. You gain ownership of the point and control it for the time being. Gain control of Slowdive as well. The
blade.
Your side. That's a beat on the blade. What are you going to do here? You're going to catch onto Snowdrop. Taejong, you're the miracle worker. It has to be you. Natsuki's able to be taken out the fight by AOI as well before Willis puts their own ultimate into it, but was caught up by Imo as well. They were both stuck in the corner right now. This is sheer chaos unfolding on the point. There are no thoughts. This is just raw mechanics right now. What can you do if you're any of these players? For Dip, you have to return to the rest of your team. Yo has been taken out by a straight headshot from AOI. Willis has gone over to the Doomfist to retouch. Dip was able to get back onto the point, but someone was there. Someone was able to get back onto it. Willis is flying themselves through, but they're not able to do a damn thing with it. At the very end of it, at the final hour, how have you done this, Team Vision? How have you taken this one back? How have you gotten into those finals against D Impero? Oh my god.
Okay. Everyone breathe, because I don't think I was. I'm just going to do a public safety announcement, because that... What? I mean, Natsuki falling into the lava with beat to... Like, that fight opened things up, and Taehong with her own beat blade turning around. Yes, Natsuki came back with the beat. Yeah, it didn't happen, but Natsuki had to come back in with the beat, using it so early. You can see the paranoia that, oh no, I died with beat last time, better use it this time. They invest it so early, but then the beat blade comes back with nothing to throw it back, nothing to reciprocate, and Team Vision steal the win from the jaws of defeat. Team Vision end Quick's run. And I don't think we'll hear the end of it. I don't think we'll see the end of this on social media, because what a disastrous turn of events for Quick. They battle through so close to the end, look so dominant in the hazard mirror, but at the very end, Team Vision see it through.
I'm out of words. I'm out of words. I'm out of energy. I am still very ill, by the way, and I
Yeah,
think this has
yeah.
made it worse. I mean,
Quick.
congratulations, Vision Esports, right? I think it's very clear that, yes, Quick were ultimately better in the exact meta mirror, but this isn't Stockholm anymore, right? We're not just going to one
Yeah.
trick the same comp to high heaven and back. Hero bans are now a thing; they're permanent, and you have to account for them, right? And I think that Vision were able to make the most use of that, and they were also able to clutch up at the very end. I mean, I want to give Taejong player of the match for that final blade, but realistically, it has to be simple, right? We kind of called them out earlier on as a problem piece that Quick Esports would have to deal with, and I think when Simple got to play his own game, it was very, very obvious, and Quick could
Yeah.
do absolutely nothing about it.
I mean, Taehong was the business closer, the only one that got them into the room to, I say negotiate, but to kind of just kidnap that win away from
Mm.
Quick Esports was Simple
No,
with
yeah,
that
there was
with that
no friendly
RFA.
negotiation there.
No, no, it was only Simple that got them there in the first place. And I mean, yeah, what a way to do it, and what a way for Quick to leave the competition. Very, very sad for us, of course. We don't get to see these guys go any further. But no more attempts on our poor, sick Egder's life here. He gets to be a bit more stress-free this evening, and hopefully the stress will sort of dilute into, some enjoyment, some entertainment, because that was a absolute banger of a series. I'm very happy that you joined us here, Egder, on the quick stream. Super happy to have you with us, and thank you all to our lovely audience for stopping by as well. Unless you have any finishing words to close us off, Egder, I think that will be all from us over here at Quick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been Egder, joined by Natnif today. Want to give a huge shout out to currently people working behind the scenes. Jay, also known as Mag Corn Emoji, unfortunately, is kind of the GOAT that happens to the best of us. And Westy, the actual GOAT production manager, has been running all of this. Thanks everyone for watching, for tuning in, and obviously since some great matchups today. There are a lot of other co-streams where you can find the next matchup, which is going to be Vision Esports versus D'Impero. That should be starting relatively soon, so hope that goes well. I know I'm going to be tuning in after I've, screamed into a pillow for 20 minutes or so, but thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.